Good morning. This is Father Matthew Kozlowski speaking to you from St. Mary's Episcopal Church in Stuart, Florida. Have you ever felt like you're caught up in a web of lies at any point in your life? There's that old line from the poem by Walter Scott, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive." Maybe it's because of a lie that you told, maybe it's because of a lie that somebody else told, but you're caught up in it. Well, that story applies to our characters in the book of Genesis this week. There are a number of common threads running through these chapters that we're reading in the E100 Bible Challenge, and deception is one of them. We get deception when Abraham and Sarah are down in Egypt and they lie to Pharaoh about who she is. There's an element of deception in the Thursday reading where Jacob schemes to get the blessing instead of his brother Esau, even going so far as they put animal skins on his arms to pretend that it's the hairy skin of his brother. The question, though, in all of this is, what's God trying to do? What's God trying to do in the midst of all this deception and in spite of all this deception? That's the other common theme running through the book of Genesis. God's trying to build a nation. God's trying to build a people who will be called to fulfill God's purposes and called to be a light to the nations. That's the whole point of the covenant to Abraham. He says, "Look up at the stars, count them if you can, so shall your descendants be." So even in the midst of the intrigue and the confusion and this deception through this various cast of characters, God is still working and moving toward this ultimate goal, which will bring salvation to this group of people and to the ends of the earth. So when you're caught up maybe in some deception, that's an important exercise to stop and say, wait a minute, what are God's purposes? What are God's purposes for my life right now? What are God's purposes for this group of people that I'm involved in? And how might we get this thing back on track if we can focus there instead of the web that we might find ourselves in? It's pretty neat how these stories from 3,000 plus years ago can ring true even for us in today's life, and that's part of why we're doing this E100 challenge to have it link up with who we are today. Well, that's all for now. This is Father Matthew Kozlowski signing off.